Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Erin Hart. I am the owner and founder of Erin Hart Health Coaching, and I empower women who want to get off of the dieting roller coaster and lose weight for the last time with a sugar and flour free lifestyle so that you can find peace with your food and your body, freedom from cravings, and confidence to chase your dreams. So, if you're struggling with weight loss, and lifestyle transformation, I can help you. This week in Monday Mindset, we're going to talk about surviving versus thriving. So, if you want to live an extraordinary life, we have to ask ourselves this question, right? Do you want to survive or do you want to thrive in your life? The other morning, in my prayer and meditation routine, I was really inspired with this idea. And it's not an original idea. It's a compilation of things that I've learned from a lot of different people. But the way that it was put together in my mind, it just made so much sense to me, and I want to share it with you today. So in my Year of You program, we talk a lot about winning the day and the power of taking it one day at a time. To win the day, I teach my clients to just use 3 to 5 habits that they want to focus on and to do those habits consistently each day. As we practice consistency with those habits, they become easy and effortless, and then we can add another habit on and then another until we have created this new healthy lifestyle and an identity as a healthy person. So, we don't want to live a normal life. We want an extraordinary life. And if you're watching this video, you probably resonate with that. That's probably why you watch videos like this, right? Because you want your life to become better. But to live an extraordinary life, we really need to become extraordinary and to do what most people aren't willing to do. Normal in our society is to be depressed, poor, and obese. And we don't want to be normal. I'm guessing, like I said, if you're watching this video, you don't want your life to be normal. Life is just so short. I was a nurse in the hospital for 15 years before I became a health coach. And it was just such a privilege to be able to care for people in their greatest time of need. And my biggest takeaway from working there was that life is short. Life is fragile. And it's easy for us to think that we're invincible and that we have an unlimited amount of time. But the truth is that we don't. Time is like a bus with no brakes, and it doesn't stop for anyone. If we don't know, we really don't know how much time we have in this life. We talk about winning the day, but what about winning our life? When you're on your deathbed, how do you want to feel about the life that you've lived? I want to live without regret, and that's one of my mantras. When I was in the hospital, I saw how fragile life is. And I saw people who left for work that day thinking it was a normal day, and then they either lost a limb or they lost their life and life was changed forever because of a tragic accident. We just don't know what's going to happen. And it's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, it's just life. We just have to come to appreciate, though, that time is precious and each day counts. So, how do we create that extraordinary life that we want and achieve our full potential? Well, we are all human. But to me, achieving my full potential, it doesn't mean that I'm a perfect person, but it does mean that I give it my all and that I strive for progress, relying on the strength of God. So think of it this way. If you win the morning, you win the day. Or if you win the morning, it helps you to win the day. If you win the day, each day, then you win the week. If you win each week, you win the year. And then if you win the year, this year, and then next year, and then the next, right? You win your life. So let's reverse engineer this for a second. To win our lives, we need to win our years. I love Jesse Itzler. He has been a big influence on my life, and I find his story to be so inspiring. He talks about the power of planning your years. He has this huge calendar that you can use to plan out your year so that you can win the year. And he says to do something really big every year, so that year will be remembered by. So to plan for and to live out a dream that you have, because if it's not this year, when? So, if you're 40, 50, or 60 years old, and most people only live until their mid-70s, right? We don't have a lot of years left. We need to find joy and to chase our dreams. For me, last year, it was winning my year. My big defining thing for the year was climbing Mount Timpanogos. I got really excited and emotional at the top when I reached the summit, because I used to be 284 pounds, and climbing to the top of a mountain used to be impossible for me to achieve, but I did it, and it was the most incredible experience. Jesse Itzler, he talks about planning out quarterly getaways and weekly fun, just really putting it on your schedule so that you can live the life to its fullest and not wait until a future year that may never come, right? We need to win the year this year because we don't know how many years we have left. So for me on my deathbed, winning my life would look like having a strong, it would look like having strong, loving connections with my family. I want to feel confident when I go to meet God because I've done my best to, live the best life I could. And I've repented of my sins, right? Winning my life would mean that I hopefully have lived a long life and that I've had a lot of years in my life and a lot of life in my years. I hope that I have memories of a lot of fun adventures. I want to make an impact for good in the world beyond my family and my community. I want to leave a legacy for my family, not only financially, but also a legacy of achieving impossible goals. I hope that my kids and grandkids can be inspired by the life of service that I lived. So to win our years and to win our life, it takes effort. We don't want to just survive in life. We want to thrive. To win this year, we need to win this week. And to win this week, we need to win today. And to win today, we need to first win the morning. If you have read Atomic Habits, you know what I'm talking about. There is a difference between surviving and thriving. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do. So to create the life that we want, we have to reverse engineer into our lives, into what we're going to do today and this week. And that's it. We don't have to get overwhelmed and look beyond that. We don't need to look at, we just need to look at today and win the day to day. So it's all about progress, just being progress driven, not outcome driven. If we focus on the process each day, the outcome will take care of itself. So I want to share with you the method I use personally to do this. I call them floor and ceiling habits. So this idea was introduced to me by my friend Gretchen Fors, who's a functional nutritionist and my good friend. So sometimes having really high expectations, it really serves us, right? For me, it helped me to lose 125 pounds. It helped me to start a business, and I have an awesome family. And, having really high expectations of yourself is good, right? It helps you to achieve more out of life. But at the same time, sometimes really high expectations can, we need to be careful. It's a fine line because it can kind of rob our happiness. So we need to find that have high expectations, but also have room for grace and, self-compassion. So trying to change and become that future version of ourselves all at once can sometimes be to our detriment. So what we need to do is just focus on habits and habit stacks. I love habit stacks. When you stack one habit onto another, so that one behavior cues you to do the next one, it's a really great way to build a new habit. But you need to have a flexible framework. If you're too rigid, you're setting yourself up for failure. I totally have done this, and I would create these elaborate habit stacks, and I would be so motivated. And when life was easy, I would just be able to stay on those for a few months, and it was awesome. But then life happens, and sometimes our habits go out the window when we have to go into survival mode, and that's okay. That's just a normal part of life, right? So we need to build some room for life into our habit stacks and into our program when we talk about winning the day. So I recommend that you create daily and weekly floor and ceiling habits. Floor habits help you to not go backward. It's like taking your foot off the brake but not pressing on the gas. You're just gonna, you're not going to get very far, but floor habits will help you to survive and to maintain where you are, or at least not go too far backward. Floor habits are the habits that we can do on our very worst day, like when you have a family member that gets a cancer diagnosis, or you get in a car accident. Floor habits can be done 365 days a year, and they are your non-negotiables, like no excuses. They can be done on vacation, on the weekend, or holidays, or during the summer when all the kids are home from school, when it's hard to stick to your plan, right? So floor habits are the things that you can do on your very worst day. They don't get us far, but they help us to not go backward. So they help our dream of, they help us to fulfill that dream of our compelling future, by just allowing us to survive and not go backward. But we don't achieve that compelling future if we just do the floor habits. So if we want to thrive, we have to strive. Floor habits are like gateway habits. So just like they talk about gateway drugs, when they talk about people who are doing drugs, the gateway drugs are the things that lead to the harder drugs, right? Now we don't want to do drugs, but what we do want to do are gateway habits, because these are the gateway to open up your day and set you up so that you can do those ceiling habits. So ceiling habits are what we strive for. They are the habits that the future version of ourselves did every day, that created the life that they want in the future. And maybe not every day, right? But these are the future, this is what the future version of ourselves has done to create that compelling future that we're striving for. Ceiling habits are the actions that if you do consistently, it will take your life to a whole nother level. It doesn't mean that they're hard. They're actually small and easy changes when you take them one day at a time, but they're powerful when executed consistently. These are atomic habits. So if you haven't read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, you really have to. It is one of my favorite books, and I've read it several times. The idea of it is that tiny habits, small atomic sized habits, if you do those consistently, you can see huge changes in your life. Big doors swing on small hinges. So let me give you an example of my floor and ceiling habits. I have it, as a mom with 3 little girls that works full time in a business. I used to work 2 jobs. This really has helped me because some days are survival mode days. But some days I have the energy to do those ceiling habits. So yours may be totally different. You have to decide what yours are depending on what's easy for you and what takes more effort. My floor habits right now that are pretty automated, but I can confidently say I could do on my worst day, are to pray in the morning, to get dressed and ready for the day, which if you're a mom, you know that sometimes that is just a win in and of itself. To eat food free from sugar and flour without binging, to write down my food for the next day and text it to my coach, and do my scheduled coaching calls. And then at night, I just track my habits and I go to bed by 11 p.m. So that might sound like a lot, but I've been working on this for a few years. So some of those may be ceiling goals for some of you, and that's okay. Some of my floor ceiling goals might be some of your floor goals, and that's great too. We don't have to compare against each other. We just want to compare against ourselves and where we were 6 months ago. So I have a lot of ceiling goals, and if I did all of these in a day, it would just be the best day ever. I would be so proud of myself, but this is what I strive for every day. My ceiling goals are to meditate for 2 minutes, to exercise for 30 minutes, 4 times a week, to read my scriptures alone and also with my family, to measure my food with exactness and to eat exactly what I wrote down the night before. So getting 8 hours of sleep, getting to bed by 10, waking up at 6. I noticed that my floor goal, so getting 8 hours of sleep is my goal, but notice that my floor goal was to be in bed by 11, but my ceiling goal is to be to bed by 10. So my ceiling goals include being productive and focused during my work time, journaling, adding transactions to my budget app, washing and folding a load of laundry and putting it away, to connect and be present for my family without distraction of my phone when I'm with them. So this is who I want to be. It's what I really want to accomplish each day. So I think that you get the idea that your floor goal may be to put on your running shoes every day, and your ceiling goal may be to actually go for a walk or a run. If you struggle to abstain from sugar and flour, that could be your ceiling goal. But if your flour, but your floor habit, could be just to eat a fruit and vegetable with each meal, right? So it just depends on you. Or if you're really automatic with your program, your floor goal may be to eat weighed meals at meal times that are sugar and flour free. It's fluid. The things that are hard for you right now will eventually become easier for you in the future. That's the growth mindset. Your ceiling habits may be a stretch for you right now. So you just focus on your floor habits until they feel really easy and automatic. And then you add in one ceiling habit at a time, and make it a floor habit. And you do that every day until it's easy and automatic. So it's all about progress and not perfection. Every day I strive to do all of my ceiling habits, but I often fall short. Some days are just survival mode. So all I can do are my floor habits. But I know that if I only do my floor habits each day, it's not going to create the life that I want. So to really thrive, we have to strive every day. So I think of floor and ceiling habits for the week as well. So my floor habits that I do no matter what are like, and like the weekly habits are to go to church, to do grocery shopping, to do the dishes, to look at my bank account, and wash the dirty clothes, right? My weekly ceiling habits are to actually fold and put away the clothes that I washed. You'll laugh, but like sometimes I have huge piles of unfolded clothes that are clean just in my room for a long time that I'm sure you guys can relate. But it's a huge win if I actually fold them and put them away. So cleaning the house is a ceiling habit, but doing the dishes is a floor habit that I would do even if I had the flu, right? Because I have to have something to eat with actually but deep cleaning the house is a huge win. So other ceiling habits for me are let's see, like preparing my food on Sundays for the week. So just setting aside 2 to 3 hours during the week for meal prep. Going on a date with my husband. You know, we try to have a family fun day every week and have mommy-daughter time. Weekly ceiling habits I strive to do are family home evening and, teaching my kids about God. And my husband and I try to sit down and like really look at the budget and do the budget for the week. And a ceiling habit for me is just like getting in the mountains, wanting to ski or hike each week. So if I were to do all of those things in a week, it would just be the best week ever. And that is what I strive for every single week, to win the week. Hold on. Come here, boo-boo. Hold on, I'm on the call.
Mom, Mom,
yeah, bring it to me, baby. So, sorry, my little girl daycare fell through today. So really just like, if we win the week, each week we can win the year. Hey, baby.
Push the button 2-3 times. It keeps turning off.
Oh, let me help you, baby. Okay, sorry guys, hold on.
You're watching PBS Kids.
Okay, you're such a good girl. Oh, okay, this is why it's funny to do this live, but we're just going to roll with it and keep going. All right, so I still consider it a win that day or that week if I was only able to do my floor habits. If that is the best I could do that week, just count it as a win, right? But I recognize that to really change my life, I can't just do the floor habits. To create the life that I want, that I strive for each day, is to strive to do the ceiling habits. To win our lives, we need to win the year, and to win the year to me means living to its fullest, and not just dreaming about doing things or waiting until you're in your goal body to do things, right? But actually just start doing them right now. Don't wait to be happy and to chase your dreams. You can start right now. My floor habits for the year would be like to be up to date on all my bills and have a weekly getaway with my husband and me following the commandments and repenting, right? My yearly ceiling habits are to have a significant improvement in my financial situation, or to go on a family vacation, to go on a cruise to Alaska with my husband for our 15-year anniversary, to hike to the tallest peak in Utah, and have mini camping trips throughout the year with my kids. So to win the year, to win our years, we really need to win our weeks. We need to win this week and win the next week. So we win today. We need to win today, and to win today, we need to win the morning. So this is how we go from surviving to thriving. And I invite you to just ponder on this and write it down. Create your life by design. Winning your life, maybe if you want an extraordinary life, plan it out and create your life by design. So what are your weekly and floor and ceiling habits that will help you to win your life and to create a compelling future for you? So remember, it's all about progress and not perfection, but don't give up on your dreams. I believe in you. I can't wait to see what this life brings for you. And it's never what we expect. So have a great day.